Love it or hate it if you are an iPhone user. MagSafe is just something we all have to live with now. Me, myself, I haven't been the most avid adopter or, champion of MagSafe. For the most part, the accessories that are offered, battery packs, wallets, car mounts, stuff like that. It is a convenience to kind of have these things, but unfortunately for me, I just think it's kind of cumbersome. Just slapping on something on the back of the phone. Sometimes, as you can see here, this is just the Apple branded battery pack, doubling or more than doubling the thickness of the phone, not to mention the kind of questionable strength of the magnets. Nude, or if you have cases, that also will affect the strength of the magnets. So for those reasons, I haven't been the, biggest fan of it, though I do use battery packs often just to get me through my day, to give me a little bit more juice. So
today we are going to be taking a look at something that's kind of a cross between a power bank and a power battery pack. And I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new BENKS power bank with a built-in kickstand. So let's take a look at it. So here we have the BENKS power bank with kickstand. Upon opening the box, what you are going to get is you're going to get a USB-C cord, and you are going to get the power bank itself. Now, as you can see here, I have some other types of battery packs here, and you're going to see that in terms of the footprint, they're close to being the same size. Obviously, this is the biggest visually here, but the most glaring difference is going to be the thickness of them. So as you're going to see here, about 30% thicker than the Apple MagSafe. For the Anchor one, it's very similar. And then for the Pataka being the smallest of the bunch, you're going to see a vastly different footprint, hence the kind of hybrid battery pack power bank. But it has the magnetic pass-through charge back here for the phone. So as you're going to see here, fits onto your phone, charging. Very similar use as all other types of battery packs. And again, that kickstand, as you're going to see here, very simple to use. And it's kind of a magnetic kickstand. So it's not going to flop out as you shake it. Nothing's going to happen here. It's all kind of magnetized. You kind of put under the lip here with your finger. And just like that, your phone can kind of stand up, have your little business calls, FaceTime. If you just want to have it up so you can see the time, check out your messages while you're working on your computer, have this beside you. It's a nice little add-on, nice little feature to have, but that is what you're getting straight out of the box. On the MagClap Go BENKS power bank, the charging output is rated from 5 watts to 15 watts max, regardless of whether you're using the MagSafe or the USB Type-C. What I was seeing, I was getting about 30% charge in an hour with the magnetic pass-through on my iPhone 12 Pro Max. On their website, they do claim 50% in 30 minutes. So that's on the iPhone. Doesn't denote whether that's a Pro, what version, but regardless, I don't quite think I was getting that 15 watt output. So why not try with the USB-C? The phone is at 43%. We'll try for about 30 minutes to see. We got a full charge on the power bank here, and we'll go ahead and put in the USB-C cable for the iPhone, and we'll put it in there, and it is going to be at, like I said, 30 minutes. We'll give it 30 minutes till we come back to. And with magic, we will see that we got a whopping 37% battery, 1 dot off. So a much better result going via USB-C, much faster charging versus the magnetic pass-through. All of these kind of battery pack banks here, you're kind of maxing out at 7.5 watts. Initially, the iPhone MagSafe was 5, and with a firmware update, it maxed it up to 7.5. The Pataka only goes actually to 5 watts. Degrading of batteries on phones is a very common thing. These do heat up regardless of whatever you're using. And so if you up that fast charge, it tends to degrade the battery quicker. The Anchor is maxed out at 7.5 as well. So if I had to guess, I'm guessing I was probably around that 7.5 wattage. Because there is a range, it's stated on the pamphlet that comes with this power bank that says 5 to 15. I don't think I was quite getting the 15. So just be aware, if you do use it, there is a range, and you most likely are going to be getting a 7.5 watt charge and maybe not the 15. Getting around with the power bank is quite simple. Again, you kind of have three things here. We have the type A, type C, and the pass-through magnetic charge. There is a power button here that we would press to kind of power it on when we want to charge things up. And there are some indicator lights here to kind of show you the charge that's left in the power bank. So right now we only are at half charge. And yeah, we're going to try and do on the website. It says it can charge up to 3 devices. So let's give it a shot. We're going to try and charge a couple phones and also some earbuds. So we will use the type C that came with the power bank. Put it in. Use a type A at the bottom here. So I will say that when you have multiple devices charging at once, it will not charge at 15 watts. It's going to charge at 5 when you have multiple devices attached. So with this, it's going to be a slower charge. But anyway, let's start it up. We'll put in the iPhone. Charging. Perfect. We will try a Galaxy Fold as well. Okay, that's charging. And then we will throw on, let's try some earbuds. Okay, so as you're seeing here, we're running into a little bit of an issue possibly. Let's see, still charging. Okay, we're still good. So a little bit of a interesting hiccup there. Okay, so as you can see, the earbuds are charging. Everything is going. The phone charging, iPhone also charging, and we have the earbuds charging. With 10,000 milliamp hours between 3 devices, you're probably not going to get a great charge, but in a bind, this will do. So what doesn't this do well? So a few things. Right off the jump, MagSafe for me with the magnets are hit or miss, depending on what you get. I always feel, especially nude on the phone itself, none of the magnets stick super amazingly. Depending on the cases, though, like a Pataka case here, it's built in a way and situated in a way that really almost amplifies the magnetic hold and pull of the accessories. But if you have some other types of cases like this one here, it really just magnifies the weakness of the MagSafe on the nude iPhone. In comparison to the other battery packs out there, like the Anchor, the Apple branded one, the Pataka one, this one definitely leaves a little bit to be desired. That vertical magnet that runs down the center, not the circular one, definitely comes off axis very easily with little pressure. So just keep that in mind. That's a downside for me, simply because if you want to treat this as a battery pack, that means you're going to want to be on the go, throwing it in your pocket, pulling it out of your pocket, bags, etc. And seeing that it's kind of a weak magnet, you're going to find that it's going to be slipping off quite easily. So that is the first downside for me. And we can kind of trail into this part here also with being on the go. The thickness of this battery pack, since, I want to consider this a battery pack, I'll kind of get to the reason as to why later, but it's almost a hybrid between a power bank and a battery pack. If you mix that kind of chunkiness with the weak magnet, it's going to be an issue again for being on the go. You're not going to be able to put it in your pocket. It's just a little bit too thick. My least favorite thing about MagSafe is that it makes things kind of cumbersome. It's not designed in a way like slapping something to the back of the phone, doubling the thickness of a device in just one area. And this one's going to be even more so because it's thicker. It just makes it awkward to carry in that way. So this is not going to be something that you're going to treat as a battery pack like you would the Anchor or the Apple brand or the Pataka one. It's just a little bit too thick. And especially with that magnet, it's not going to be something that you're going to be putting in and out of pockets, in and out of bags. It's going to come off your phone every time. So one more thing, and I don't want to harp on it, I don't want to seem too harsh, but the 15 watts, I was not able to get it, whether with a USB-C or the pass-through charge. I was getting that 7.5 to 10 watt. And the reason I'm going to say it's not totally a fail is because I really want to consider this more of a battery pack, and I'll touch on that next, but I'll consider this a battery pack. And since, for the most part, most battery packs out there are maxing out at 7.5 watts these days, and this is kind of 7.5, 10, we're in the ballpark. So The only reason I'm kind of going to say it's a little bit of a down is because it does claim to have 15 watt. And the best I was able to get was that 37% in 30 minutes. I was never able to get, 50% in 30 minutes. So now, what does it do well? I think the price point. It's priced super, super aggressively, and $42 US for 10,000 milliamp hours of juice. For a really, reputable, decent company like BENKS that offers a lot of high-end products, I think it's a win. You can't go wrong. $42 for 10,000 milliamps is really, really great. Priced really perfectly and aggressively. I have power banks out there, and now we'll talk about it being a power bank since that's what it's called. Even if you double that and get 20,000, which is what I think a power bank should be, 20,000, 25,000 milliamp hours, that you're only talking, $84. The power banks that I have that are 20, 25,000, they are a little bit more high end, but like the Sherpa or the OmniCharge, those are anywhere from $200 to $300 US. So a win 100% of the time. Price is a win. The dual feature kickstand, another great thing. Versatility is always something that's on my radar. So the fact that it's going to power your device and be a kickstand, you can have multiple phones, maybe some earbuds on it, what have you. I think it's a win with its versatility. So with that, I'm going to leave it there. Unfortunately for me, it's tough to give a final verdict because I think this is confused as to what it is. It is definitely a hybrid. Again, not big enough, in my opinion, to be considered a power bank in this day and age, and a little bit too chunky in its footprint to be a battery pack. It's just a little bit too big to compete in that size. So it's a little bit confused as to what it is. But if you're in the market for something with a little bit of a smaller footprint and you don't need a lot of juice and you just need something for some phones and maybe your earbuds, 10,000 milliamp hours is more than enough for stuff like that. You're not going to get something any better for price point and footprint for a power bank. So for that, I'm going to give it a nod and leave it up to you going forward. But as always, I hope this video was helpful. I always try to give my most honest opinion, even though it might seem I'm being a little harsh. It's not a bad product, just a little confused as to what it is. So with that, I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, later, everybody.